Indiana Dunes Tourism, located between Chicago and South Bend in northwest Indiana, is a proud supporter of Irish Illustrated. Extend your Notre Dame visit with a trip to the nation's newest national park. Visit IndianaDunes.com.
From Camping World Stadium, Tim Priester with Tim O'Malley. A couple hours before number 15 Notre Dame takes on 7-5 Iowa State. Tim, by all reports, it wasn't a great work week for Notre Dame on the practice field, but they certainly have some advantages in this game. The weather there's rain in the area. I'm not sure how much it's going to rain. I'm never one to say that, rain's going to help one team or another. I think it would help Notre Dame today if it came to that, because Brian Kelly talked about using 2 and 3 tight ends. Kansas State did it and was effective against Iowa State. I think he wants to run the football to set up some things.
Yeah, and I think if it's like the rain was yesterday, which was kind of persistent spitting, I don't think it affects much. But if you get a little bit of rain, I agree with you that the 2 tight end set, settle the game down early, settle into the game, and then maybe let Notre Dame's perimeter talent advantage of Chase Claypool, Cole Kmet, Ian Book getting the ball take over. Everybody listening and both of us talking, we really do believe Notre Dame wants to settle into a running game early with a healthy Tony Jones on that offensive line. And then you got to use your strengths. I am the biggest proponent, if not you, of running the ball more than Brian Kelly does, but you do have some advantages here against Iowa State with your NFL-level players.
Right. Brock Purdy, the quarterback, has had a really good year for them. Yeah. They're going to throw it all over the yard. That's what they do. I would expect a minimum of 40 passes from him. He's got an array of receivers. Because he's developed them, he's thrown the football to them a lot. So they've got 4 or 5 guys to look out for, especially I really like their tight end, Charlie Kohler. What are you looking for from Clark Lee's defense in this matchup?
Well, that is strength versus strength, at least on paper. Notre Dame with the 5th-ranked pass efficiency defense. A lot of that is because of the pass rush they get up front. And we got to give credit. When Sean Crawford's in, they're a tough cornerback duo to beat. You can rotate in Tariq Bracy. And anytime you get him in 3rd and long, you're bringing Notre Dame's most talented player on the field, Kyle Hamilton. That is still Notre Dame's advantage. When you have a nickel defense out there with Kyle Hamilton and Sean Crawford, that pass rush going, that is to Notre Dame's advantage. But the key is, of course, keeping them either even or behind the chains on 1st and 2nd down so you can employ that true strength. But as you said, if they're going to throw 40 times, they're going to make some plays. It's up to Notre Dame to limit it with open field tackling, and they've done that all year.
I agree with you. I think the key there is Breece Hall. Breece Hall's one of the 3 4-star players on this entire team, and he's a good running back. He's a slippery running back. But Notre Dame's defensive front, if they control him, now you put Purdy in like you said, behind the chains, must-pass situation. It's clearly strength against strength. I think it's one of the most appealing things about this bowl game is Notre Dame's pass defense against Brock Purdy and a very adept receiving corps.
And on the other side of the ball, we mentioned establishing the run and then getting into the game where I mentioned getting into the game, getting in the 2nd quarter, because I cannot think of a greater disparity in intangibles in a game than what Iowa State has over Notre Dame entering this game, because people always say every team is Notre Dame Super Bowl. I don't always believe that's true. This is Iowa State's Super Bowl. They are here in droves. There is no reason to expect they've had anything but 15 practices focused on beating Notre Dame. I mentioned Notre Dame had 10 real practices to an Iowa State writer, and he was absolutely shocked. Look, we hear many reports behind the scenes about not good weeks of practice and players, frankly, not wanting to be here. But we haven't heard about Chase Claypool, Cole Kmet, Ian Book, Tony Jones. Alohi Gilman said it, but I can't see him not dialing it in. Right. Notre Dame has to just overcome what has been preparation for next year and play well to beat Iowa State today, because there is a great disparity in terms of who wants to be here more, but there's the same disparity in which is actually the more talented team.
There are 40 bowls, and we see it all the time where teams don't want to play. I'm not saying that that's going to happen in Notre Dame, because they do have superior talent. And if it's normally for bowl games or any away game, the Notre Dame fans travel really well. I'm not sure I've seen 10 Notre Dame fans this week. So it's going to be a partisan crowd. Does that matter? Does what's happening up there matter down here? It doesn't have to. Notre Dame a slight favorite, which is has
alarming.
Been concerning. It started at 3.5 and it stayed that way. So we expect a competitive game. Notre Dame is superior athletically, physically, but Iowa State has a good football team. So we'll see what happens today in Camping World Bowl when Notre Dame takes on Iowa State.